So that is about 5 gallons of water. Now, we have a lot of water up here. This is a dry camp. I got aquatainers over there. So I've got the hat there. Rob Keck signed it. Bill Jordan signed it. That's the founder of Real Tree Camouflage. Welcome to Time by the Tent, another weekend here up at the land. Appreciate you coming along. I do have the fire going. Just got that started. I did put up our flag from emflag.com. Very different weekend from a week ago. Last week it was pushing 85 degrees. Today, right now it's 64 degrees. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 73, and tonight somewhere around 48 to 49 for a low. So most likely we'll start the tent stove here in August. So not a whole lot on the agenda this week. Do got to prep a few projects or a few things in order to prepare for a guest next week. Holly's family's coming up to camp for the weekend, so I do need to haul wood up, which I have got chopped and cut down at the bottom of the hill, and got to hang some things up in the tent. And appreciate you coming along. Got some good food this weekend, so all of it should be able to be accomplished to prepare for next week's guest. So this here is the bow kill of the spike buck that I got last November. And I butchered the deer out myself, as well as skinned it and then put it in the freezer. And then a couple of weeks ago, month ago, took the pressure washer and cleaned the backside of it off before tanning. You can use, there's many ways of removing the excess meat and the fat and all that other stuff, but a pressure washer is what I went with because I seen it and it worked very well. And then I tanned it with the little orange bottle that you get from Amazon. Turned out very well. Now, is it professional? No, but for my very first deer, it's probably 75% pliable. Looks really good. This is one of 3. I've got another one in the attic that's getting done currently that I've put the tanning solution on, and there's a third one in the deep freeze that I will start tanning in the next week. Watched a couple of videos online. It didn't look too complicated compared to what it would cost to take it to a taxidermist or someone to tan it, which would be over $100, and I still had to do a lot of the work myself. So if you've never tanned a hide before, if you've never butchered out a deer before, and you're a hunter or you're going to be, there's plenty of videos online and DVDs in which you can purchase. That's how I learned in the early 2000s with a DVD that I got for $3 at Walmart. And you can do it yourself. You've never done it before? So what? You can do it. Had a friend say whenever I said I was going to tan the deer, she said, "Have you ever tanned a deer before?" And I said, "No, I haven't done half the things I've ever done before since I bought the property, since Holly and I bought the property. So what's the difference? It's only you that's stopping yourself." So turned out very nice, very pleased with this. Going to keep this in the tent until we take the tent down. Then I'll take it back home. But very, very pleased with this deer hide that I've tanned. So that is about 5 gallons of water. Now, we have a lot of water up here. This is a dry camp. We got aquatainers over there that's got about 13, 14 gallons of water, something like that, for the shower, rinse off, hand washing station, and then drinking water here. And then I still got a couple of jugs of water in the tent. We went through a lot of water last week. It was really hot, and I was trying to think, how can I carry these up efficiently? And I thought, well, I've got a milk crate. Now, there's about 5 gallons of water there. So if you're not capable of lifting that type of weight, you can always make it, put less in there or get a smaller crate. But that really works really well. I'll slide that under the table when I leave, and then whatever ones that I use this weekend I'll take back home and fill up. And I still have 4, 5, 6 of them at home. I'll fill another crate up and bring that up next week, and that should be probably most of the water that we will ever need for this year. Obviously, whenever it gets cold, these bottles will expand, and when they freeze, they'll expand a little bit, and I can always knock a little water out of all of them, and then take them in the tent. Like, you know, for example, if tonight was going to be, if some of them was frozen tonight, I'd take some and put them by the fire and defrost them. But anyway, thaw them out. But that's a way in which, if you have a permanent campsite, or if you're even camping somewhere that's not yours, that you're renting or visiting, that's a great way to carry your water if you do not have the aquatainers or in addition to them. Last week I dropped 4 trees, I think it was. So I'm picking that up now, one load tonight, and I will get the rest tomorrow. So, quite a bit here. I mean, all of that right there is one load. This here is one load. Probably 2.5 more loads. I've got one load just about completed. And I never did cut that log there that I was going to test and see how good it was. I did take and trim the one that was here. I got that. So, yeah, I never got that one. So, a lot of good trees here. That's going to be another DVD stand. I'm running short on space on the 9 more DVDs, or 8 more DVDs, and I need more space. So, I'm going to take that up, and you can see I left the limbs on these, and when I get up there I'll just take the axe and snap them off, throw them in the fire, and then stack the wood on the pile. But I just don't like delimbing them and wasting all that and just letting it sit here and rot. You know, trees aren't popping up left and right. I have a tremendous amount of dead standing trees here. Yes, I understand that. But at some point, these will probably fall, some of them, and rot, and they won't be any good. And I just want to respect the tree and you know, be respectful and not waste anything that I don't have to waste. So I will see you at the top of the hill. Though it doesn't stack as pretty, because all the limbs, I still feel that I'm getting the maximum out of what I'm doing. And wind up the hill and stack it on the wood pile and build that wood pile up. Wonder if anything's coming through that gap. I know halfway up the hill I got a path that rings around the bottom of camp. They come through and they go around and back over. I have them on trail camera there. Just not enough trail cameras. Made it to the top of the hill. Had a couple pieces fall off. Readjusted the pile. So I'll take and run the axe down some of the bigger pieces, like something like this. I'm not going to worry about it like that. And some of the larger diameter pieces, and build a pile up that I can just throw on the fire. And so these will stack nicely, as you see here. That'll still go in the fire in the tent, no problem. And also can throw it on the fire out here. So I'll get that unloaded, and then it's time to get supper going. I do have potato in the fire I've had there for probably an hour or so. So that is where I'm at now. Yeah, about 2.5 more loads, and I'll get that in the morning or tomorrow and finish stacking, clean all that wood up, and then next week probably drop some more. Okay, for supper, got ginger ale. Now, if you're going to buy ginger ale, it's terrible either way you go, but get the store brand because it's $1 cheaper and it's still got all the terrible stuff in it. And you're not paying $2.62, you're paying $1. Anyway, having ribeye, baked potato, and sweet corn, in which I picked up on the way up here from a roadside stand, so that should be good. So that is what I'm having for supper. If anything changes, I will let you know. Otherwise, I'm going to sit by the fire. Supposed to be getting some rain, 1/4 inch or less, around 9:30. I do need to, there's a couple pieces of plywood or particle board over there on the other side of the shower I want to take inside and layer a little bit of the wall with some, kind of make a wall out of it inside the tent tomorrow. But I want to get that inside so it doesn't get wet, just to get rid of it, just to use it, attach it to the post, and maybe reflect some heat back in. I will have the fire going. I'll show you that later on this evening. Okay, got the stove going here. 60 degrees in the tent right now, and 49 for the low is what they're calling for. So I will get the stove going here and get the tent not super hot, but enough to get the dampness out and the chill. And I will see you in the morning. Well, good morning. 55 degrees. Feels like it should be in the tree stand this morning, as chilly as it is. It was 62 in the tent most of the night, had the fire going, and I got down to 55 because I let it go out. Slept in later than I thought, almost about 8:30 now. So I will get the fire going here. I'm going to have pancakes. For sure, maybe fried potatoes, I don't know. But just a really nice morning. Already have activity on the trail camera. I got a trail camera that is above that deer blind that I put in last week, which is approximately 75 yards that way. If you go through the woods like a fly over a crow, I guess that's how they say it. Had a doe out there this morning at 20 after 8. So it doesn't look like it's spooking them. I've had doe, or if it's this doe or other ones, 3 separate times this past week since I've put that deer blind up. So see how that works. Again, that's only for gun hunting if necessary, if needed, if I don't can't get one in the other stands. And I still have in the storage tent 3 tree stands that strap-on tree stands, and I've got the steps. So I just bought them last year because they were very, very good deals on Marketplace, and I may use them, I may not, but I have them available. So, all right. Thanks for hanging in with me this long. Might be a shorter video this week. Just not a whole lot going on, which is fine. We've been very, very busy the last couple of weekends, or last 7 or 8 weekends, getting things done. So, see what we get done, which I want to get done. I got some things to hang up in the tent, bring that plywood in, get the wood hauled up. So that's where we're at. So let me get breakfast going. Alright, had breakfast, fixed pancakes. Didn't show you, you know what pancakes look like over the fire. We've shown that to you before. I'm going to head down with the wagon and load up another load of wood for the wood pile, which is growing. That's good. Probably most of that is going to get burnt next week when the guests come. And then I'm going to start building up that side. Then I've still got underneath that rug, I've got wood from last year. And I've got some pine from last year from the neighbor right there. Made it to the top of the hill with this load. And trim off the limbs, throw those in the fire, and stack the wood up. This is all pine. Some of it's not that good. I don't know, that made a little punky on the outside. So that kind of wood would be strictly for outside. I wouldn't burn that in the tent. For those of you keeping score at home, that's the third wagon full, and that's all the wood that has been cut down here. So that is all the wood there that I moved today. And I think there was whatever I did yesterday. But anyway, that's going to get burnt next week. I'll split that up when the family comes. More wood here than we've ever had before. Still room for more wood. This here is the punky stuff and the small stuff that either get burnt today or next week to get the fire started and just use up all that. And then I've got that chunk right there. That piece is good. That's punky. I'll split that up and burn that next week as well. So I'll have to drop another tree next week and haul more wood up. Again, I'd like to have it kind of level all the way across, and then right there underneath that rug there's more wood, and have that all filled in. Never gonna have too much wood cut and ready to burn. Okay, so I had this OSB board, particle board, and this piece of plywood that I was going to use for the roof of the deer blind that I built last week, but decided not to include that in the construction. Just was going to be a couple extra steps I didn't want to take, and I've got an umbrella, camouflage hunting umbrella, that if it rains or snows, whatever, I can use. So I'm not taking this stuff back home. What I will do is I will take the drill and drill one tiny hole like halfway up and zip tie that there. Same thing on this side. And the purpose of this, I guess, if you're wanting a reason for it, just to add a little barrier, maybe to repel just a little bit of heat. Now, it doesn't make sense for us to do that all the way across through the whole tent, or both tents, 4 foot high, because at some point we're going to bring in a hard structure, cabin of some sort. But since I've got the wood here, I'm just going ahead and do that. We've never had any issue with large animals trying to break into the tent. Though that is a concern, that always is something you want to be aware of. Black bear, coyote, whatever the case is. But we've never had that issue. We keep the food out of the tent. So that's just one way in. Like right here, behind the stove, I got 2 metal sheets that were the pieces of a 2-drawer metal filing cabinet that I use to repel the heat off the tent. I've got this side of a dog crate, and that acts as the back there, and it kicks the heat out, and it doesn't bake the side of the tent, and it has worked very well. So that is what the purpose of the boards along the side of the tent is. Not taking them home. They're here. If I need them for something else, I can utilize that for another project. So a couple of weeks ago, I fastened this flat board, half of a log, up underneath the tent rail. This is the back, the second half of the railing, the backrest of the big bench out there. Put it in here. I knew I was going to hang stuff on it. So what I did was I found a shadow box, and I did make a video about talking about hunting with the former CEO of the National Wild Turkey Federation, Rob Keck, in 1998. Was not able to harvest a turkey with him, but did have a camera crew with me. It was a very neat experience. So I've got the hat there. Rob Keck signed it. Bill Jordan signed it. That's the founder of Real Tree Camouflage. And then over here, the late Dick Kirby, Quaker Boy Calls. They were all at the first Jake's Day in Illinois back in 1998. Jake's is a teenage version of a male turkey. So young hunters, they were called Jakes. So was able to put that all together. And then I reached out to Brad Harris, who is the creator of what we now know as the grunt call. He developed that and created that, invented that in the early 80s, and was the face of Loman game calls for many years. That's where I was introduced to him. via late 90s VHS, the Whitetail Challenge series from Loman. Reached out to him. Now he has Brad Harris Outdoors Ministries, where he shares his love for the outdoors with friends, families, and he was gracious enough to send me a signed photograph. This is a copy of that. I keep the original. I just got it a couple of days ago. I am keeping the original at home, so if this one gets damaged, this is a copy. I do have the original. I can make a new at home. So very nice. I do have a couple more if I can obtain them. That'll hang on there, but just a nice little additive to the tent, to the camp, to the woods, to the whole atmosphere up here. So looks very nice. Very nice afternoon. Cooking what hot dogs I have and sweet corn I have, and what I don't eat I'll take home. And I don't know, it's about probably 65-ish now, maybe 70. Well, let's walk over and take a look at the thermometer. Oh, what do we have here? Yeah, you're looking at about 68-ish, 69. Very nice afternoon. One of them just afternoons that you really want all the time. So I'm going to fix lunch here, and then I think that's just going to about do it. It's going to be a shorter video. I gave you some pretty long videos of late. Not much needed to get done. Next week family's coming up, so it'll be an extended video on that because we'll be up here 3 days. And getting everything done before deer season, which is coming up, if you're interested in that. Coming up, I think it's the 14th of September here in Wisconsin for archery. Well, that will do it for another weekend up at the land here. More of a relaxing, few items to do weekend, nothing overwhelming. Enjoy the time up here. Appreciate you coming along. And in honor of Brad Harris sending that photograph, signed autograph with a tent, I'll close the video off like he does. So, when you get a chance, get outside and enjoy God's great outdoors. We'll see you next time.